camp. My name's Thad Johnson with ABC, and I'll be taking a look at your video here today. We're going to talk about a couple different things, including balance, direction, and your follow-through. First thing we want to talk about is your approach to the balance position in the delivery, which is also the top of the delivery, the beginning stages. You know, it's one of the most important parts of the delivery because it sets up the directional phase and gets you going towards the catcher. So a couple different things we're looking for as one comes to a balanced position is one, we'd like to see guys stay over their back foot, okay, and you do a real good job. I mean, one of the keys we look for is that head stays in line with that back foot. Okay. Another thing we look for is that our pitcher's shoulders stay squared up to between second base and home plate. And the reason for this is the shoulders start to early rotate as yours do, Henry. You kind of got this. Your shoulders kind of have this torque to them. What almost happens all the time is you now release that top half towards home, you're going to find that it's going to just rotate back towards the left. So you rotate in and then you're going to rotate out, and a lot of guys cannot stop their top half from rotating early, and it's going to cause a front side issues, glove side issues as they approach the release point. A lot of the momentum will take their body away from the pitch, okay, right to left as opposed to just back to front. So just one thing to consider. I'd like to see you just go ahead and square up your shoulders. Another thing we want to see is we want to see your eyes on the target. You know, I mean, right now you're about ready to commit to a pitch, and yet you've not picked up the targets yet. So you need to make sure that you pick up that target just a little bit earlier. But in all, you have a very good balanced position. You just need to work on get that head turned, get those shoulders turned. So as you can see, now we work our way into the balance, into the directional phase, and you do a real good job of keeping your weight back to some degree. You got a little bit of a tilt in the hips. It's one thing I look for. Your top half is probably tilted back a little bit too much. Like to again keep the levelness, good posture with the upper body. So let's go ahead and flatten those out. What happens is as your top half leans back, it's going to drag behind that lower half that's moving forward, and you're once again doing something that's going to create a situation where you're going to have to open up early. So the baseball's pointed towards the ground, which is awesome. You know, a lot of guys get underneath the baseball. Yours is pointed towards the ground. You look to be in a pretty solid position as you approach home plate. Now, when we land, what happens here, and we're going to go a couple frames forward and a couple frames back, and I want you to pay attention to your foot here, and you're really gonna see what I'm talking about when we talk about the rotation and where your energy starts to go. Now your foot doesn't just open up, Henry. What it does is it starts to move as it opens up. It doesn't just open up and go to the ground. It starts to move to the left. Okay, so everybody's going to work from the ground up, and you do a good job by opening up your toe to face home plate. However, you lose the line to home plate with the lower half. So if you go right off your toe, okay, the line to home plate is going to be right about there where that line is, and as you can see, you're missing it. You're striding open. Okay. Now, as we come to a stop position here, it appears that you're back over your heels. Okay, you got a real short front side, ideally at foot strike at the loaded position. I'd like to see that glove be out to be in line with that front foot. Okay, your shoulders appear to be opened up a little bit, as opposed to heading directly towards home plate, back to front. That's what you want to see. Shoulders in line. Lower half can open up a little bit. That's fine. The hips can begin to open because they kind of set the pace for the entire delivery. So what we need to do is you need to do a better job. You need to do a T-line drill, and what that is you're going to basically put your line in the dirt, as I have done, and you're going to get to a balanced position, dry work, okay, without a baseball, and you're just going to work on picking the leg up, striding forward, doing dry work, stepping on this line. It's going to be the best drill for you. As you separate your hands, make sure you keep your weight back. Get that glove out there. Get it in line with your front foot, okay? Keep it out there on landing. So when you land, you should see a glove that extends out to be in line with that front foot. All right. As you do this, it's going to keep those shoulders in line. So this T-line drill is going to work for you. T-line because the rubber is going to be the top of the T, and then the directional line is the long part of the T, and you're going to work on going from the rubber to stay on that line. As you land, get that glove out there. It's going to keep your top half closed. As we rotate over to the release point, you do a real good job of getting through the pitch. Okay, you have good extension. Ideally, I'd like to see the head just be out over that front foot just a little bit more. Okay, and all this is going to take care of itself. You have a better line to home plate. You'll be more extended towards home plate as you keep your weight in line through the foot strike, through that loaded position. You're going to lose your release point. You're going to lose distance on your fastball, on your pitch, because you're going to release it further back in the delivery as your body becomes rotational and less directional towards home plate. So that T-line drill, staying in line, keeping that top half closed, should do a good job of now creating some length in the top half, getting that chest and that head out forward. What you'll start to notice is your top half will probably look a little bit more like this. Your back will probably have more of that profile there with that long line, as opposed to the upright position that you're in. And you do an okay job of finishing through the pitch. And Henry, one thing I'd like to see is this arm. Okay, this is as far as your arm goes. I'd like to see that arm get all the way to your chest. I'd like to see that thing get all the way down, finish all the way to your chest. Don't stop your arm action at the end of the delivery. What happens is it's like your arm's like a speeding car. As you get bigger and stronger, and you start throwing the ball between 85 and 90 miles an hour, and you like a speeding car, a car driving that fast on the freeway, and someone just keeps slamming on the brakes of that car, eventually the brakes are going to wear out. So you want to make sure that you allow that hand to get all the way to your belly, to your back hip, okay, the hip or the belly or your chest. I always tell guys, elbow to opposite knee. Get the elbow, get it to that opposite knee. Okay, so your right elbow is going to get to your left knee. That's a great way to look at it right there. It's going to allow your arm to naturally deaccelerate. Again, your hand is like a speeding car. If you hit the brakes on purpose, if you stop your hand on purpose after release, eventually you're going to wear out your shoulder. And once you do that, you're going to have problems in the future, staying healthy and that whole thing. So just go ahead and get that elbow to the opposite knee. And that should be just a nice drill to do as you do dry work without a baseball. Just be nice and loose through the finish of delivery. Let it bounce off your tummy. You should be able to feel that happen. So, Henry, I want to thank you for coming to camp. I hope you learned a little bit here today, and look forward to seeing you out there again sometime soon.